Hi guys, I'm Irene. This is Perpetually Paperback, and today I'm doing my most surprising books of 2020. So all of the books on this list are books that, honestly, I probably could have done a top 10 books of the year list, but I couldn't have done a top 10 worst books of the year. So instead, I decided to split it up with the books that kind of took me the most by surprise this year, that I don't really know what I expected going into some of these. I'll talk about that going through, but these are the reasons why I found them most surprising, and let's go. So the first one on this list is Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. The reason I have this on this list, I think this actually came out a couple years ago, but I read it this year. The reason this is on this list is because it surprised me how much I would really enjoy historical romance. I am a huge... It was stupid because I really should have known that, and I really should have kind of delved into the genre a little bit more. This was the first book in, I don't know, let's go with my adult life, that I sort of explored, and it pretty much opened an entire new genre to me, and I'm so thankful and happy about it. I've been enjoying my reading so much, and I don't necessarily think that any of these books are 100% super stellar. Bringing Down the Duke, I really enjoyed. I gave it 5 stars. I really loved it, for me personally. But after that, I really wanted to kind of try some more out, so I kind of went into Tessa Dare's Girl Meets Duke series, which I adored, and that I would probably say is a little bit more of like a pinnacle of the genre, maybe. I would say that Evie Dunmore is a little bit more like contemporary, I guess. But those are a little bit more traditional. No, that's not true. I guess they're all contemporary historical romance. But anyway, they're wonderful. I have been having the most fun reading them. And then after the Tessa Dare books, I explored, thank you, by the way, to the Babbling Book for this one. I've been absolutely adoring these. But it's Lisa Kleypas' series. So I've read the Hathaways. That's where I started. I enjoyed it immensely. At some point, it stopped being really like romance, I guess. And it was just like a story about a family with romance elements in it. And I was so invested in the lives of this family that I couldn't stop reading. I wanted to know how every one of these girls made out. I wanted to know how everyone in the family, and I love how Lisa Kleypas would give you all of the women and all of the men. So she leaves no one out, and I think it's just so wonderful because I love it. You always want to know what happens to everyone, and they give it to you. It's so lovely. They've been such a nice like palate cleanser in between maybe more emotionally heavy books or stuff that I'm not really enjoying. So it's really been such an awesome help into like not getting into a reading slump and having something it feels like a breath of fresh air. So love all of those. I can name them all, but I'm like not going to. So, okay. After that, I would like to say Beartown by Frederick Bachman. So I honestly thought I was going to like this book because I had read some Bachman before and I had kind of gotten a sense of his writing style. But this book was described to me as, or what I had heard about this book was that it is about a rape in a small town. Well, as you're reading the book, that doesn't happen until like the second, like definitely in the second half of the book and almost towards the like last third of the book. It's almost about an entirely different thing. Like the connections that you get with the people in this town, the, I don't know, truisms about life in a small town and just like the literary elements that he uses, it's gorgeously written. It's visceral. It feels cold. There's a moment where in the book where he just keeps, and you remember it too, because it's like bang, 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 and it's loud and you hear it. There's a lot of points in the book where it's loud. It's weird to describe, but it's just what Bachman did with that book was just stunningly beautiful. And as great as I thought it was going to be, it just surpassed every expectation I had. It was stunning. Absolutely stunning. I have the next one in the Beartown series that I'm going to be reading coming up soon, and I'm so excited about it. I really hope... I don't think it will not live up to my expectations. I don't know. Stay tuned. We'll see. Okay, so next, I really struggled with whether I should put this one on the best books of the year, but really, truly, I was so surprised by it. This was the list it had to be on. It is All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. It is a memoir manifesto. I heard it through Scribd. It was read by the author. It was wonderful. I never thought that a young adult book about a gay boy would be so relatable to me. And I just had such a gorgeous reading experience with it. I laughed so much. I cried. I related so much to it. It was just, I want to go back and read it again. It was so wonderful. It really it was such a gorgeous reading experience. I honestly recommend it. There was even a part that was actually particularly difficult in it, and it didn't, for me, make it any better or worse, really. There was such care taken with so much of the material that I just found it really lovely. And yeah, it super took me by surprise on how relatable it was as he kind of grows up and just, read it. I love it. It made me so happy. It just made me so happy. I'm not even telling you anything about it, but if you can read it, actually, I would say if you can listen to this one, that was a really great listening experience. Definitely check it out because the author's voice is just wonderful, and he just laughs at himself in certain parts, and it's so endearing. It's so lovely. If you can do it that way, read it that way. It's awesome. Okay, so the last book on this list is Crocodile on the Sandbank by Elizabeth Peters, and this is the first book in the Amelia Peabody series. I never expected to like these books so much. I really like history, so I don't know why it wasn't something that was going to be right, like off the bat I was going to enjoy it. I also very much like sassy main characters, and sassy main characters that like do what they want. And Amelia Peabody is very much one of those people. At this point I've read 4 of them, and I definitely want to continue on in the series. There's something totally different than anything else I've been reading, and they're just great. I don't know. I like books set in the Victorian time, apparently. I also apparently like books about Egypt. Like, I didn't know... I can't decide if it's that element that I'm really enjoying. I kind of don't think so. I kind of think it's just Amelia Peabody and her, like, sassy way of being, and, like, how the relationship she has with her husband in the later books as she... like becomes this like Egyptian detective. It's great. Obviously there are going to be some things that aren't like lovely in the book because it's, it's an older print of something that was written a bit ago. But I am having such a great time reading these. They're lovely. I'm going to continue reading them as much as possible because I'm having such a great time, and I never thought I would. Who knew? So I would say if you, like, a lot of people had an issue with this one because it says it's a murder mystery and there's actually no murder mystery that happens. I guess I didn't know that going in, so for me it didn't make a difference. I really enjoyed it. If that's something that doesn't matter to you, I would say go for it. It's worth it. I don't know, I really liked her. You might too. Check it out. Okay, so if these are some of your favorite books, or maybe some of the books that you didn't like, let me know. If you liked this video, I have a couple others coming out. So I'm doing my most disappointing books of 2020, best books of 2020, and worst of 2020. You'll see those coming out on my channel pretty soon. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.